Okay, so if you've got a couple of blocks, you might want to have them nearby. You'll be okay if you don't have any blocks, but you don't need a strap or anything like that unless you like to have maybe a bolster for shavasana or something later. But grab your blocks if you have them, and we'll start seated. So find your way onto your mat, and then just kind of settle into a comfortable seat, whatever that might look like for you. Let me just adjust so that my head doesn't get cut off too much. So find a comfortable seat. Use whatever props help you to get comfortable. And your prop could be a chair, whether you need that for the seated portion of our practice or whether you need it towards the front of your mat for any balancing stuff. But regardless, find a way to sit up tall. And then close your eyes and start to tune in and just notice how your breath is going. Usually it's on the shallow side, a little bit on the rapid side. So acknowledge where on that spectrum you might be. And then consider your optimal breath, the slowest, the most spacious breath you can manage. So one breath at a time, gradually start to work towards that more optimized version of the breath. Go there little by little, one round at a time. As you deepen your breath, start to pull your breath downward into the lower abdomen. You might feel your belly expand, you might feel your ribs expand, maybe a combination. And see if you can even feel where your breath moves into the back of your body. The lungs actually inhabit part of the back of us. So if we were to be sliced down the middle from front to back, our lungs would be almost halfway in the back of our body. So when you breathe in, see if you can feel a stretch in your upper back, your mid back, maybe even your low back. Expanding all that tissue and decompressing it from any tension it might be holding on to. And then notice your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers. Down into your lower body, your hips, your knees, your ankles, your toes. Acknowledge anywhere you might have some tension from the get-go. So that an hour from now, you can check back in and see what's changed. Keep that body scan going. Keep progressing into your breath. And let's sit for about 10 more cycles worth of breath. To balance out inhales and exhales. Trying to balance out the amount you're reaching up with the crown of your head, the amount your tailbone and sits bones are grounding down. Trying to balance out right and left sides of ourselves. So notice if the shoulders are even and if the knees are even and if the hips are even. If not, just gently go in and try to encourage more balance wherever you can. Last 5 here. Last 2. And 1. Now palms come together in front of your heart. Bow your head to your hands, make up an offering. I'm here for blank, and then you fill in that blank, maybe over and over again. It might change as we go, which is fine. So making sure you have purpose, and then the next inhale that you take, you can lift your head. You might even float open the eyes to start. You'll goalpost your elbows, palms face forward, and then go right elbow under the left for eagle arms. So your choice of grabbing shoulders, backs of palms, or palms together, and then lift the elbows up. Reach the elbows way forward so the shoulder blades spread apart, and then melt that shape down to your heart. Now keep all that, tuck your chin toward your chest. Spread the shoulder blades a little wider, spread your skull and shoulder blades apart, and then gently roll your right ear toward your right shoulder. Keep that, and then spin your gaze down and towards the right. And then tuck your chin toward your chest. Now, once you got that set up, so you're kind of tilting to the right and tucking the chin downward, you can stay still or you can rock the head from side to side. You want to ease into whatever tension, whatever limitations you might find in that left upper quadrant of your back. Circle out the chin, or make your side to side movement get bigger and bigger, or you might even find a sweet spot and stay still. 2 more breaths. And 1, now lift the head, float open the eyes, unravel the arms, interlace fingers, and stretch the arms forward. So palms face the front of your space. And then intuitively and gently from side to side, just take the palms of your hands all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and try to find a little more space between the shoulder blades and the spine. And then 1 more of those. You'll come back to center, release the arms. You might switch the cross of your ankles if you're sitting cross-legged. And if you're not sitting cross-legged, just work with whatever you can. And then goalpost your elbows again, palms face forward, and go left elbow under the right. So same thing, second side. Grab shoulders or backs of palms or palms together, and then lift the elbows up. Reach the elbows way forward so the shoulder blades spread apart. Then melt the elbows straight down to your chest. And you'll keep them there as you tuck your chin toward your chest to begin. Try to spread your collarbones and shoulder blades apart simultaneously here, and then roll your left ear toward your left shoulder. Keep all that, spin your gaze down and towards the left, and then tuck your chin toward your chest. And you can keep that, you might stay still, or you might start to investigate by rocking the head from side to side. Slow and easy to start. And gradually that might become a bigger movement as you take up and explore just a little bit more space. Maybe it becomes a crescent moon type of a shape, maybe more of a circle. Last 2. And 1. Now lift the head, float open the eyes. Unravel the arms, interlace fingers the same way, maybe switch it over a finger, round the back and stretch the arms forward to start. But then take that shape and reach it up and overhead so the palms of your hands try to face the ceiling. And then same thing, except you'll curl from side to side, up and overhead, getting into the sides of the ribs and into the space between each of your ribs. Notice if you're able to curl more easily to one side than the other. And try to make it as even as you can. You're here for another 3. You can use momentum, or you can pause at the middle. You're here for another 2. And then take 1 more in each direction. So 1 more side to side. Good, and when you finish, release that and float the arms down as symmetrically as you can. You can notice if you look in your screen, if you're practicing with me here live, you can notice if one shoulder drops closer or heavier than the other, or faster than the other. And then lean forward off of any props. You can take them towards the front of your mat if you're planning to use blocks later. And you'll lie down on your back for these next couple of poses. So just work your way onto your back. You can use your hands or just use your core. And once you get to your back body, palms rest on your belly, and you'll cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. So think of a figure 4 pigeon pose. Now lengthen your tailbone towards the back of your left knee. Draw your shoulders down and back towards the floor. And then keep this figure 4 set up and just lower the whole shape of your legs down and towards your left. So ideally the right foot steps flat, but it very well might hover for most of us, maybe all of us. And then that shape of the legs lifts up through center. Take a little pause and lower down into the right. And then back to center. Lower to the left. Back to center. And lower to the right. Keep that going a few more rounds. Come back to center. Lower left. Back to center. Lower right. And then last one, back to center, pause. Lower to the right side, pause. I'm sorry, to the left side. And then come back to center. And this time, pull the left thigh in toward your chest if you can, and interlace fingers behind it. And if that's too much, if that feels too intense to do this early in our practice, keep the left foot flat, no problem. But if you've got the left thigh in, draw the shoulders a little farther onto the back so you deepen your stretch. And then a very slight side to side rocking motion is what we're looking for here. So think of right to left as you rock side to side. See how and where you might be able to deepen your stretch. For 3. And 2. 1, and then come back to center, pause, and instead of right to left, think front to back, start to curl your tailbone upward, and then lengthen your tailbone forward. So it's actually like a cat-cow in the pelvis. Curl the tailbone upward, lengthen the tailbone forward. A few more like that for 3. And 2. 1, now pause again, and last little thing here, you're gonna circle out the lower back. So combine the front to back, side to side, and make it one smooth circle that you trace around the majority of your lower back, maybe some of your mid back. And then after one more of those circles, pause and reverse it and just circle out the opposite way. Trying to cover every bit of territory on your back. And after one more of those, pause, release any interlace you might have of your fingers, hug your right knee in, stretch your left leg out, reach the thigh bones apart, and then you'll take the outer right thigh in your left hand, drape the leg across you, up and over to the left, and you can peel the right arm open to the right. These can follow, but only if it feels okay in the neck. Otherwise, just look straight up at the ceiling. Reach the right shoulder blade down and back, firm the outer right hip forward. And then come back to center. From here, right foot flat, left foot flat, step into your feet, lift your pelvis up. We're just an easygoing bridge pose. So don't even interlace the fingers or take it any deeper. Just ground through your feet to lift your pelvis up. Set the pelvis down, pause. Let's do one more like that. Ground through your feet, lift the pelvis up. Set the pelvis down, left ankle, right thigh. Don't forget to dorsiflex at the ankle, which just means make a 90-degree from foot to shin. Palms find their way to the belly again, and then you'll lower that shape of your legs down and to the right. You'll lift it back up to center. And then you'll lower it down into the left. And lift up back to center. And that's your pattern. You'll go a few more times side to side, so lower down into the right. And lift back up. Lower down into the left. Lift back up, pause center. To the right. back to center, to the left, back to center, and then last one, lower down and to the right. Good, and then lift that shape back up to center. And you can stay there with the right foot flat or pull the right thigh in, clasp hands behind the right thigh, and then you'll take it deeper into these further explorations. So remember, you could just be still the whole time if you feel plenty. Otherwise, if you feel pretty good about this and you've got fingers interlaced, start to rock side to side. Just gently exploring what kind of stretch is there as you move from right to left. Being very mindful of the shoulders and drawing them down. Keeping the back of the head heavy, so make sure you're not peeling your head up and away from the floor to look at what's going on. That'll just add tension to the neck. Do one more side to side. And then come back to center. And instead of side to side, curl front to back. So curl the tailbone forward towards the front of the mat and then upward towards the ceiling. And alternate lengthening and curling. Forward and back. A few more times here for 3. And 2. And 1. Now combine those, circle out the lower back. Maybe even some of the mid back. So just sort of play it by ear as you go. Three, 2, and 1. Reverse your circles. Go the opposite way. Last 3, 2, and 1. Now release that. Stretch the thigh bones apart. So left knee hugs in, right leg stretches out forward. Draw your shoulders down and back again, and then take the outer left thigh in your right hand. Drape the leg across you to the right, and you can peel your left arm open to the left. The gaze can follow, but only if it feels right. Inhale, stay there. Exhale, back to center. Hug both knees into the chest, grab behind the knees and thighs, and then tune into your belly because you're gonna rock forward. Try to find your sits bones at the base of your pelvis, and then rock backwards. Try to find your shoulder blades, but not your neck. And then rock forward again, find your sits bones. Rock back, find your shoulder blades, or get as close as you can. And then a few more. Sits bones, shoulder blades, sits bones, shoulder blades. And then last one, rock up to the sits bones, try to pause. See if you can really lift through your chest. And then from here, maybe cross the ankles, roll forward, roll over your shin bones and find a tabletop position. And maybe find a better way. Maybe you roll around to one side or swivel around your hips. Regardless, find your way into a hands and knees position. Shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees, and you're gripping the mat. And then inhale, cow pose your spine, crown of the head and tailbone lift up. And then exhale, cat pose your spine, hollow out your belly and round your back. And keep it going. Inhale, cow pose your spine. Exhale, cat pose instead. 2 more of each. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then last one, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Back to neutral. Walk your hands a little forward. Curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And as you stretch into your legs, it's your opportunity to kind of wiggle around and take inventory. So maybe you notice the backs of the shin area are tight. Maybe you notice the backs of the thigh area are tight. Or maybe you notice it's just the lower back all on its own that's tight. Now we'll get right up and moving since we only have an hour and we took a while to warm ourselves up. So inhale, right leg lifts up into the air. You'll bend the knee, open up the hip, reach the thigh bones apart. And then right knee to your nose, come forward. lift the shin bone up, look between your thumbs, and step the right foot forward. Now end up in a right side low lunge, and here's where your blocks might come in handy, so feel free to grab them and frame out your right foot. If you don't have blocks, fingertips will do the trick, and you'll inhale, straighten out your right leg. Exhale to bend your right knee, and repeat. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend the right knee. The left knee melts down to the mat. Scoot your left knee back a little bit, point the toes, and then you could stay right here to stretch, or you can lift up onto your right leg front thigh. You can push into the thigh to pull your belly back. And then you might even keep your right hand on your right thigh and reach your left arm up into the air. And the key here is that your pubic bone is lifting up and your tailbone is reaching down. And then if you want to go a little further, you can curl up and over towards the right, reaching with your left arm and decompressing the whole left side of your body. So anything that feels tight there or tender, try to send your breath into those areas, like you could untie any little knots that happen to be there. And then next inhale, you'll come back upright to center. Take your left hand by the instep of your right foot. So maybe you find a block there, or maybe palm to the mat. Curl your left toes under, lift your left knee up, keep your right knee above your right ankle, and peel your right arm straight up into the air. And then take your right arm up and overhead, palm facing down. And you can stay here, keeping the right knee bent, or 3 times you can inhale, straighten the right leg. And exhale, bend the right knee. And then repeat 2 more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Last one, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Now keep the knee bent, and moving from the right shoulder blade, take 1 big shoulder circle to see what's going on in the neck, the upper back, and the shoulders. Pause when you finish, and then 1 shoulder circle going the opposite way. Good, and then when you finish, pause, look down, right fingertips come down, and you'll step up to the top of the mat, left foot meets the right. Take your blocks off to the side if you're using them. Heel toe your feet about as wide as your shoulders, and then bend your knees, connect your belly to your thighs. Grab hold of opposite elbows and sway a little bit from side to side. Let your head be nice and heavy. Let your jaws get soft so they disconnect a little bit. You've got some space between them. We're here for 3. And 2. And 1. Come on, back to center. Lower your fingertips, heel toe your feet to hips width apart. Inhale, half lift, lengthen, palms to shins or fingers down. Exhale, fold over your legs. And then press down through your feet. Inhale, reach the arms around and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Little pause at the top. Exhale, Samasthiti, palms together in prayer. And then here we go for a sun A. Inhale, circle the arms around and up. Exhale, tone your belly as you swan dive all the way forward, touch the mat. Inhale, look forward, lift halfway. And then exhale, plank pose if you're up for it. If not, you can go right back to down dog. If you feel pretty good in plank, lean forward, lower halfway, and then all the way to your belly. Rest your forehead, point your feet, and then 3 of these. Inhale, curl the chest up for cobra. Keep the elbows bent and keep them wrapping into the side ribs. Exhale, release back down, pause and reset. And then 2 of 3, inhale, curl the chest up again. Exhale, release. 1 more time, inhale, curl the chest up for cobra. Exhale, release back down, curl the toes, downward facing dog, stretch into the legs. Once you're back there, pedal out the feet. Rock the hips from side to side, see how everything's feeling. And then left side of those first few poses, inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Left knee to your nose, come forward, lift the shin bone up, look between your thumbs, and either step all the way up there or help the heel to get forward by just grabbing the heel with your hand. Blocks, if you've got them, might be helpful. You can frame out your left foot. Otherwise, fingertips to inhale, straighten out the left leg. Exhale, bend your left knee. And then repeat, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 1 more, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend the left knee, right knee comes down. Scoot your right knee back, point the toes, and either stay there on your blocks or fingertips, or you can lift up onto your left leg front thigh. And if you go for that one, push into the thigh to pull your belly back. Think of a zipper up your front body. And then your left hand can stay on your left thigh and your right arm can reach straight up into the air. Maybe that's where you stay, or maybe curl up and over to the left to get more right side body stretch. And in particular, you'll feel this right side jeans pocket. And that's an area that we tend not to be able to stretch so much. So this is a really good pose to isolate that area. Last one here, deep breath in. Exhale, come back to center, right palm plants flat to the ground or your block. Curl the right toes, lift the right knee, and peel the left side body open as you lean back. Then you'll take your left arm up and overhead, palm facing down. And from here, inhale, maybe straighten out the left leg. Exhale, bend your left knee. And repeat, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, and then from your left shoulder blade, inhale, one big circle. Reaching all around you. Pause when you finish and reverse it. One big circle. Going the opposite way. Pause when you finish. Look down. Left fingertips come down to a block or the floor. Right foot steps all the way forward. Blocks to the side. Feet shoulder width apart again. So go a little wider than usual. Soften the knees. Inhale, palms to shins. Half lift, lengthen. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Grab hold of opposite elbows again to start. Do a little sway from side to side. And then you can stay like that, or you can interlace fingers behind your lower back and stretch the knuckles up and overhead away from your lower back to get a little more stretch and more space. And tuck the chin just a little bit extra. Maybe rock the head side to side. See if there's any other hidden stretches that you haven't tapped into yet. We're here for 3. And 2. And 1. Head and neck come back to center. Release the arms. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Fingers down or palms to shins. Exhale, fold over your legs. Heel toe the feet to hips width apart. And then ground through your feet. Inhale, reach the arms around and up. Urdhva Hastasana. Little pause at the top. Exhale, Samasthiti, palms together in prayer. And then reverse it. Inhale, circle the arms around and up. Exhale, swan dive your way forward, touch the mat. Inhale, look forward, lift halfway. And then your choice of going right to down dog or stop off in plank pose again. If plank pose feels pretty good and you're ready for it, lean forward, lower halfway, and then all the way to your belly. Remember, you can do that with your knees down so it's easier if you want to. And this time you'll rest your forehead, point your feet, and just see if you can find that same interlace of fingers behind your back. And if you've got it, perfect. Squeeze the elbows in, reach the knuckles towards the heels. If you don't have the interlace of your fingers, you can set up like cobra. And for 3 rounds again, you'll inhale, curl the upper body up. Exhale, release forehead to the mat. And repeat, inhale, curl the upper body up. Exhale, release. And one more, inhale, curl up. Exhale, release. Palms under shoulders. Inhale, curl the chest up, cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Once you're back there, pedal out your feet, rock your hips a little side to side. We've got one more standing bit. It's not too many poses, but we'll kind of string a few together. Let's get back to the right leg. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Right knee to your nose, just like last time. Lift the shin bone up. Look where you want to step. And then step it up there, or try to and grab the heel to sweep it the rest of the way. Now, if you've got blocks, grab them again. If you don't have blocks, just use your fingertips. Melt the left knee down. Scoot the left knee back a little bit. Point the left toes. Maybe even go for a higher block setting, which will take you deeper here. Inhale, cow pose your spine, lift up through your heart. And then exhale, cat pose your spine and round through your back. And then repeat, inhale, cow pose your spine, lift your heart. Exhale, cat pose your spine, round your back. Inhale, cow, one more time. Exhale, cat, one more time. And then come back to center, stretch your right leg towards straight. Adjust your blocks and bring them with you if you want to. Maybe keep a bend in this right knee, which is fine. Inhale, chest towards your right big toe, shoulders back. And then exhale, fold over your right leg. Tuck your chin and close your eyes. 5 nice slow breaths here. Three. And 2. Last one, deep breath in. Exhale, bend your right knee, step your right foot flat. Take your blocks or fingertips about 10 inches forward of your right toes, and then curl the left toes, lift the left knee. Hop your left foot in about halfway, pause, ground through your right foot, and see if you can float your left leg up into the air. So we're in a modified warrior 3. Take a moment, tuck your chin, look at your left toes and point them down. If you don't have blocks, you just want to bend that right knee quite a bit more so you can get to the ground. If you do have blocks, push into the blocks to reach your chest forward, and maybe the right leg goes straight, but it doesn't have to. And then very optional for your last couple of breaths, maybe the right hand hovers at your heart. Maybe the left hand hovers at your heart. You can go unsupported, or you can decide that that's too much and come back to using your props, or maybe a chair out in front of you. We're here for 3. Firm this outer left hip in, or this outer right hip in for 2. Left hip is firming down towards the floor. Last one, big inhale, stay there. Exhale, float it all the way back, crescent lunge. So you might have to use your hands to get situated, but you'll ground through your feet, lift your torso up, ribs towards the spine, arms reach up into the air. You'll inhale, straighten out your right leg. Exhale, bend your right knee, palms to prayer, stay upright, twist to your right. And then that's what we'll repeat. Inhale, come center, reach the arms up, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bend and twist to the right. And then 2 more times. Inhale, come center and reach. Exhale, bend and twist. Good, now last one, same thing. Inhale, center and reach. Exhale, bend and twist to the right. Pause there, set your left knee down and set your left elbow outside of your right thigh, if you can. And if you want, you can use your hands to get there in the first place and then retwist. If you want to keep your back knee lifted, that's an option as well. But roll the chest open and tone into the belly, even though you're still deepening your breath. We're here for 3. And 2. And 1. Now it gets tricky again. Look down, lift your left knee up off the floor if it's lowered, and then spin your left heel down to the mat and circle your torso around and open to your left as you straighten out your right leg, just for a moment. Now bend your right knee, warrior 2. So right heel and left arch, you want to line them up, arms reach wide. And then from your warrior 2 setup, you'll lean forward, flip the right palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. And exhale, side angle pose, come halfway forward, top arm up and over. And then repeat, inhale, peaceful warrior, curl back. Exhale, side angle pose, come halfway forward. 1 more, inhale, peaceful. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2, press down, lift up. And then exhale, cartwheel the arms down, frame out your right foot. Spin to the ball of your left foot, melt your left knee down. Palms go flat, and you're gonna find a way to sneak that right leg back behind you for a 3-legged tabletop. So you might stop off in tabletop and then lift the leg, or maybe there's a better way to get there. From here, right knee to your chest, but you stay in tabletop. And then open your right knee to the right, think dog in a fire hydrant, and then point the knee back behind you. So it's a big circle. 2 more times, knee to your chest, knee to the right, knee straight back, and then 1 more time, chest, right, back. And then you'll set your right shin bone down to meet the left. Inhale, cow pose your spine, chest moves forward. Exhale, cat pose your spine, round your back. And then one more time, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And then back to neutral, walk your hands a little bit forward, curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet once you get there. And then we've got one more side, same poses, so you know you can do them. You've already gotten through them on the right side. Get right into it, because the sooner we finish on our feet, the sooner we can stretch. Inhale, left leg sweeps up into the air. You'll bend the knee, open up the hip. And then left knee to your nose, come forward, lift the shin bone up, round the back, and step the foot between your thumbs or grab the heels, sweep it up. If you want your blocks, grab them and slide them into place. Melt your right knee down, scoot the knee back, point the toes. And then 3 of these, inhale, cow pose, really exaggerate, lifting up through your chest. And then exhale, cat pose, hollow out your belly and round your back. And then repeat 2 more times. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then come back to neutral. Stretch your left leg towards straight. Half Hanuman. Inhale, chest towards your left big toe, and your left knee might be bent. And then exhale, fold over your left leg for 5. 3. 1. Next exhale that you take. Bend your left knee, take your blocks or fingertips about 10 inches forward of your left toe, so it gets a little tricky again. Curl the right toes under, lift the right knee, pop the right foot in, halfway pause, and then really stand strong on that left foot and ground through the toes and the big toe ball down, pinky toe ball down evenly. Sweep your right leg up into the air behind you. Maybe tuck your chin and check your work. You want to make sure your right toes are pointing down towards the floor, and then you'll cobra pose forward through your chest, and you can stay there or challenge yourself. Hover the left hand at your heart, maybe even hover both hands at your heart, or keep using a prop. You're here for 3, and 2, and 1. Now float it back, crescent lunge, with or without help from your hands. Take a moment to get upright and then consolidate your midsection. So your core muscles are working to help you stabilize. Reach the arms up. Take a pause. Inhale, straighten out the left leg. And then exhale, bend your left knee, palms to prayer. Stay upright and twist to your left. And then keep that going. Inhale, come center, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend and twist left. 2 more. Inhale, center and reach. Exhale, bend and twist. And then last one. Inhale, center and reach. Exhale, bend, twist, pause. Right knee can come down if you'd like. And then right elbow can come to the outer border of your left thigh if you can get it there. Otherwise, feel free to hover. And we're here just for 3. So lean back, roll the chest open. For 2. And 1. Now look down, lift your right knee up if you lowered it. You might have to use your hands, and that's okay. And then circle around and open to your right. Find a heel to arch alignment in your feet, reach the arms wide, and bend your left knee to a square. So end up in left side warrior 2. Once you get into position, lean forward, flip the left palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. Good, and then exhale, side angle pose, come halfway forward. And then you've got 2 more of each of those on your breath. Inhale, peaceful. Exhale, side angle. Last one, inhale, peaceful. Exhale, side angle. And then inhale, warrior two, press down, lift up. Exhale, cartwheel the arms down, frame out your left foot, spin to the ball of your right foot, set your right knee down, and then think tabletop. So either stop off in tabletop and then reach your left leg back, or maybe you can just kind of sneak it through that space that's open between your arms and your right leg. And then 3 circles from here, and then it's all passive, stretch and relax from here on out. So left knee to your chest, and then left knee opens left, then the knee points back, and repeat. Chest, left, back, chest, left, back. And then left shin meets the right. Inhale, cow pose your spine. And exhale, cat pose your spine. And then do it again. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Let's do one more this time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then neutral spine, knees go wide. Sink your hips back to your heels, but before you get all the way into child's pose, take your right arm and thread it underneath the left side of the chest, palm facing open. Set your right temple down, your left arm can reach forward. If child's pose isn't an option, if maybe your knees don't like this pose, you can just take your right arm across your body and hook your right elbow with the inside of your left elbow. So a more upright version of the same stretch. See what serves you better, and then close your eyes. Let your breath get deeper again. Typically we lose that when we move from pose to pose. But as we practice more and more, we want to be able to maintain that slower, deeper breath, regardless of what else is happening. One more inhale, stretching out the right arm and the right shoulder blade to spine area. Exhale, release that. Right arm can stretch forward, and the left arm will thread underneath the right side of the chest, palm facing open. If you'd prefer to sit upright, you'd catch the outer left elbow with your inner right elbow and just kind of hug that arm across your body. Again, same stretch, just different levels of leaning into it and using gravity. One more inhale. Exhale, unravel the left arm, stretch it forward. And then walk your hands in as if you were coming to sit upright. And instead of sitting the way you are, you'll swivel around and stretch your legs out in front of you, or find a better way, if there's a better way to get there, so that you're seated with legs out in front of you, shoulders stacked above the hips. Tone your belly, maybe sit on a blanket if it's difficult to sit with the legs out in front of you. Inhale, the arms reach up. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, bow forward, keep reaching with your chest, and then let the arms just rotate down. Doesn't matter if you can grab your toes or your feet or your ankles. You can even relax the arms. It's more about reaching through the spine. And then you can tuck the chin, let the head get heavier. And breathe. 3. And 2. And 1. Now flat back, rise all the way up. Bend your knees, bring your feet together and your knees wide. Take your first and second finger of each hand and wrap them around your 2 big toes. And then inhale, lift your chest, lengthen forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips, bow over your legs. As you get into position here, you can just hang your head. Maybe close the eyes down. And then try to soften the jaws. Let the breath get even slower, even deeper. Next inhale, flat back, rise up. Release your big toes and slide the feet forward. So you're still in this diamond shape, but you've got a little bit more space from heel to pelvis. Now, once you're in position here, you'll take your right shin bone, lift it up a little bit, and take your right arm, thread it underneath the right shin. So I'll mirror you guys for this one, so hopefully it'll be a little easier to get the rights and lefts. So fingertips find the ground or a palm, and then you can walk your fingers as far to the right as you want them to go, and your left hand is going to find your left thigh. And then you'll push the thigh away from you, lean to the right, spin your gaze down and towards the right, and then tuck your chin toward your chest, and maybe close the eyes from there. Keep resisting that left thigh. That's where you'll get the deeper part of the stretch. The lower left side of your back. You can stay still or you can rock the head from side to side, depending on how things feel. And then last one here. Exhale, lean forward, use your left fingertips to push the ground away, unthread your right arm. Palms to shins, inhale, cow pose your spine. Exhale, cat pose your spine. And then back to neutral, pick your left shin bone up just a little bit, take your left arm and thread it underneath, find fingertips or a palm, maybe even walk it out, find a forearm or an elbow. And then opposite hand, so right hand is going to find the right thigh. Push the thigh away from you so you can lean farther to your left. And then same thing, spin your gaze down and towards the left and tuck your chin. And start by just closing the eyes. But then if you'd like, and if you're up for it, you can start to rock the head from side to side. And let the breath get even slower. 3, 2, and 1. Lean forward, let your right fingertips push the ground away, unthread your left arm. If you've got blocks, grab one of them and bring it next to you, and then you'll help your knees together and lie down on your back. As you lie down on your back, you might use your core, you might use your fingertips to get there. You're going to take just one more bridge pose. So the block comes in handy because if you're tired, you might want to make it a really easy bridge pose. So step into your feet and then lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling and either slide your block underneath the flat part of your lower back, so just above your glutes and at the base of your spine, or interlace fingers behind your low back. The supported version with the block will be a lot sweeter and easier. The clasped hands variation is a little bit more work and effort. And wherever you end up, you're there for 4. Add the breath to what you're feeling. For 3. Last 2. And 1. Now step into your feet, lift your pelvis up, release your clasp or get rid of your block, and then roll all the way down the length of your spine. Pause, take a full body stretch. Once you're at the bottom of your pose there, arms reach away from legs. And then exhale, just the right knee hugs into your chest, give it a squeeze. Then take the outer right thigh in your left hand, and as you drape the leg across you, up and over to the left, you can peel your right arm open to the right. And take a moment just to feel the midsection ring out one more time. And then come back to center, right leg stretches out, arms reach overhead, full body stretch. And this time, left knee to your chest, give it a squeeze. Then take the outer left thigh in your right hand, drape the leg across you, and the left arm can peel open to the left. Appreciate one extra moment there. And then come back to center, and you've made it to your shavasana, so you can glide the arms and legs out into a relaxed position. If you've got a bolster or a towel or anything like that, you might like to put it behind your knees to give you a little extra boost, or even 2 blocks behind your knees and thighs. If you don't have any of that stuff, don't worry about it for now, but consider for the future a really nice shavasana with extra support could work in your favor, especially if you're prone towards back pain. Try to make yourself as symmetrical as you can. And then flip an imaginary switch in your mind that takes you from active to passive. So all your muscles relax and all your body parts just kind of settle. Even the breath, you can take a final breath or two of more developed breath. And let yourself settle right into an effortless place. Stay relaxed. If you've got no agenda for the rest of the day, you might even linger for a little bit longer. Feel like you're ready to come back and move your toes and move your fingers. Maybe rock your head from side to side. And then stretch into the arms and legs. So reach the fingers away from the toes. And then you'll hug your knees into your chest. Roll around on your back, smooth everything out. And then roll up and over to one side, curl into yourself and pause there. Think back to any intention that you set earlier. Maybe make a connection with that same intention or maybe something new. And then you'll push the ground away to come all the way upright and sit. Sit however it's comfortable, however you're able, whatever props are necessary, go ahead and grab them. And take a moment, bring your palms to prayer and just reconnect. Check in with your shoulders, hips, knees, elbows, spine, wrists, ankles, your neck, your brain. Hopefully see a little positive change throughout your body. We'll finish with an Om as usual, so feel free to join, feel free to listen. Take a nice deep breath in. Bow your head to your heart. Light in me honors that very same light in each one of you. Namaste.